Phoenix. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Good.
My name's Sophie, your daughter, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Why are you so obsessed with the Beatles?
Well, the Beatles were the first band that got played all the time at my house. When I learned how to put records on the record player and put the needle on them, the first band that I loved to listen to was the Beatles. So I listened to the Beatles then. They were my favorite band the whole time I was growing up, and they're still my favorite band now.
How did you meet Mommy?
How did I meet Mommy? Well, I played in this band called All, and Mommy really liked All. And so once when Mommy was coming to Colorado to visit, she wanted to see if we were going to play a show because she'd never seen us play live before. So she called to see if we were playing anywhere, and we weren't. But we invited her to come to practice, and she could see us by herself. And she did that, and that's where we met. And we talked for a long time and made friends. And then we've stayed friends ever since. Well, and got married.
What was your first tattoo, and when did you get it?
Well, my first tattoo I don't have anymore. It was a skull and crossbones. It's up here underneath another tattoo, underneath this one. See that one? Underneath there's a skull and crossbones. And I got it when I was 16, and then it didn't look too good, like some of my other tattoos. So I went ahead and covered it up with this one that I thought looked better.
How long did you play in Big Fish? How about
Big Fish. Big Fish, I guess that band was probably together for about a year, and I think we played 2 shows.
How about
The Massacre Guys?
Mm-hmm.
The Massacre Guys were together for 5 years, and I played drums and guitar in that band, and those were all my friends. And for a while, Carl, my friend Carl, that played in the Descendants and All with me for, well, it still does, he was also in the Massacre Guys. So the Massacre Guys, yeah, 5 years, a long time.
When did you meet Bill Stevenson? He's very important to you, huh?
Yes, he is. I met Bill the first time in 1984 when he was in Black Flag, who are my other favorite band besides the Beatles. But I knew the Descendants, his other band. I'd been listening to them for a really long time at that point. But that was the first time I met him, was in 1984 on the Black Flag My War tour. And Massacre Guys played. We opened for Black Flag that night, and that's where we met the first time. And then we met again later when Carl joined the Descendants first. He met Bill, and they needed a guitar player, so they called me, and then I came and played with them, and they decided they liked how it was to play with me too, and I got to join the band. I got lucky.
Which is better, All or the Descendants?
Ooh, well, since I play in both, I can't say that I have a favorite. I like both bands equally.
But which do your fans like the most?
Fans probably like the Descendants a little bit more. The Descendants have been around a longer time, and so there's been a lot longer for people to learn their music. So yeah, I'd say fans probably like the Descendants better, but in our band we like both about the same.
What is your favorite food? Why do you drink so much coffee?
Well, my favorite foods, I should say, are ice cream and bacon. Those are my 2 favorites. Though I'm trying not to eat too much of either of them because they're not very good for you, right? But I love the taste of those, and I drink so much coffee so that I can stay awake all the time. So I'm not so tired all the time after I get up really early with you and your brother.
places have you lived?
Wow. Well, let's see. I was born in North Carolina, so that's 1. Then we moved to Kansas. That's 2. Then we moved to Utah. That's 3. Then I moved to Washington, D.C. So that's 4. And then I moved to California when I joined Descendants. And then later, after we were called All, we moved to Missouri. Then we moved to Colorado, where I met Mommy. And then we moved here. So that means that I've lived in 8 places so far.
Wow. Why do you always play air drums when you drive?
When I drive?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I don't listen. I play so much music and I record a lot of music, so and I don't get that much chance to listen to music, just music that I like for fun. Usually I'm working on some of my own music. So if I'm listening to somebody else's, it's usually in the car. And one of my favorite things to do when I hear music that I like is play air drums. And that's been true ever since I was probably a little younger than you.
What do you and Mama do when Phyllis and I are at Grammy and Papa's house?
We like to take naps because we can finally get a little bit of sleep. We like to go out to dinner together and have a nice quiet dinner. And sometimes we go to a fancy restaurant. Once in a while we'll go to see a movie that's maybe for grown-ups. And we just, sometimes we work on the house a little bit, paint a room. And sometimes we just sit together and read books, something we both like to do.
Tell me about your favorite things at Disney World.
Ooh. Well, my favorite thing at Disney World is probably, my favorite ride is probably the Haunted House. I love the Haunted House. That one's really fun. I really like going with you guys on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun. I like everything about going to Disney World. Disney World is awesome.
A couple of fans wrote in with some questions. Can I ask them?
Sure.
When will the East Coast shows be scheduled?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I'd like to think that maybe in 2011, maybe we can finally do those shows again. Our drummer Bill was feeling a little bit sick, and so we had to cancel a few shows. So we're going to try to redo those shows very soon, as soon as we can. Probably, and he's feeling a lot better. He's doing better now. So maybe next year.
And finally, tell me more about 2 albums, 1 instrumental.
Well, I'd like to think that sometime we'll finally get around to doing we were supposed to do an all record, a regular all record with a singer, and then another record with no singer that was just instrumental music. And we did record some of that, though we never really got a chance to finish it. So I have no idea when those are going to happen. I hope that they will happen someday. And until then, I'm going to keep making records with my friends and just having fun.
Tell me about your new record.
Okay, well, I made a record called The 7 Degrees of Stephen Egerton, and it's a record where I played all the instruments and recorded them myself, and then asked 16 different friends of mine from different bands that I've been in, bands that I've recorded, bands that I just like to listen to. I asked 16 different singers to each sing a song on it, and I've been working on it now for about a year, and it's now going to come out on May 11th, 2010, which, as of the time of this interview, is a week from tomorrow, 8 days from now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.